Picture this, it's the late 1700s. The American colonists have just pulled off the unthinkable, defeating Great Britain. Now, they have to govern. Their first attempt, the Articles of Confederation, this League of Friendship gave almost all the power to the states, leaving the national government comically weak. It could declare war and make treaties, but it couldn't tax or enforce laws. The government had to beg states for money, and the states often refused. Without funds, the government couldn't pay debts, raise an army, or settle disputes between states. No president, no national courts, just chaos. The breaking point? Shays' Rebellion, when unpaid war veterans in Massachusetts rose up and the national government was powerless to help. Leaders like Madison and Hamilton realized the system was broken. In 1787, delegates met in Philadelphia, planning to fix the Articles. But the Articles were beyond repair. They needed a new foundation. So they scrapped the old system and drafted the US Constitution. This new document created a stronger federal government that could actually govern. It could tax, raise an army, and enforce laws. The Constitution was a bold reset, giving America a government that could survive and grow. The messy experiment of the Articles taught the founders what not to do. The Constitution became the blueprint for a new nation. And that's how America got its second and much more famous government. The real work of building a country had just begun. The framers knew concentrated power led to tyranny, so they split the government into three branches. First, the legislative branch, Congress, makes the laws. Congress is bicameral, the House, based on population, and the Senate, with 2 senators per state. This was the Great Compromise, balancing big and small states. Next, the executive branch, led by the president, enforces the laws. The president is commander-in-chief, negotiates treaties, appoints officials, and can veto laws. But Congress can override a veto with a 2/3 vote. Then there's the judicial branch, the courts topped by the Supreme Court. Their job interpret laws and decide if they're constitutional. This power, called judicial review, lets courts strike down laws that violate the Constitution. Each branch checks the others, preventing anyone from dominating. This system of checks and balances is the backbone of American government. It's a delicate dance of power, designed to keep freedom safe. The framers' 3-branch solution was radical, and it worked. No king, no unchecked rulers, just a government of laws, not men. The Constitution's structure still shapes American democracy today. That's the genius of the 3-branch system. Not everyone trusted the new Constitution. Anti-federalists feared a powerful central government would crush individual rights. To win support, Federalists promised a Bill of Rights, clear protections for personal freedoms. James Madison drafted the first 10 amendments, ratified in 1791. The Bill of Rights guarantees free speech, religion, press, assembly, and more. It protects against government abuses, unreasonable searches, unfair trials, forced quartering of soldiers. These rights drew a line. Government power stops where individual liberty begins. The Bill of Rights made "we the people" more than just words, it made them law. We the people originally meant only white, property-owning men. Over time, voting rights expanded, first to all white men, then, after the Civil War, to black men, in theory. Southern states blocked black voters for decades, until the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Women won the vote in 1920 with the 19th Amendment. Native Americans gained citizenship and voting rights in 1924, but faced barriers for years. The voting age dropped to 18 in 1971 during the Vietnam War era. Each step was hard-fought, expanding democracy's circle. The struggle for universal suffrage is the story of America's promise, slowly fulfilled. The Constitution created federalism, a balance of power between national and state governments. The federal government handles big-picture issues: money, war, interstate trade. States control education, marriage, and most criminal law. Some powers, like taxing and building roads, are shared. For decades, states held most of the power. Dual federalism. The Great Depression changed that. The New Deal saw the federal government step in to solve national crises. Cooperative federalism blurred the lines, with federal and state governments working together. Today, federalism is a constant negotiation. Who decides what, and for whom? The push and pull between Washington and the states shapes every major issue. Federalism keeps American government flexible, and sometimes fiercely contested. Since the 1970s, there's been a push to return power to the states. New federalism. Debates over federal versus state control play out in healthcare, education, and voting rights. The struggle to define "we the people" continues, with battles over voter access and civil liberties. The questions the founders asked, about power and rights, are still alive today. American democracy is a work in progress, not a finished product. Each generation redefines what government by the people means. The story of US government is one of constant change and challenge, and that's what keeps the American experiment alive.